Jack Clark. That's Ramon Pinheiro behind, but the checkered flag is out, and Jack Clark takes the checkered flag and his first win in the FIA Formula 2 Championship at his home circuit here at Brands Hatch. He is going to be delighted. Second place for Ramon Pinheiro. Who is going to be third? It's going to be Hegerwald ahead of Monras, ahead of Bortolotti, and sixth place should, in theory, be Christopher Zanella. But Jack Clark, what a fantastic result for him. He is going to be a very happy man. Here comes Zanella across the line, ahead of Max Snegerev only just, but there is Jack Clark, and I'm looking forward to hearing from him after the race, because he is going to be overjoyed, I would predict. Ramon Pinheiro also. We're going to have a very happy podium, aren't we, because I think him and Pinheiro are going to be delighted. Hegerwald possibly a little more reserved after starting on pole position, but hopefully we'll get a replay of that start of Jack Clark's, which really made it for him, and he made an excellent start at the Nürburgring as well, leaping up from 6th on the grid to 2nd place by the time they made their way out of the first corner. So James Cole did finish in 8th, his best result of the season and his first points of the season. Aman Ibrahim in 9th. Jose Luis Abadin in 10th place, and well, you just he comes across the line now in 10th place, but you just wonder if he may not be 10th position by the end of the evening, because he gained it through some fairly shifty techniques. So there's Aman Ibrahim, who, as I say, crossed the line down in 9th position. 11th place for Partiva Suresh and 12th place for Plamen Kralev, 13th in the end for Mikkel Mack, 14th Sung Hakman, 15th Timo Storz. 14th was our last runners. Here's a look at the results then. 3 seconds in the end, the winning margin, but those two were in a class of their own. It was Tobias Hegerwald in 3rd place, not Will Bratt, obviously, because Will Bratt isn't racing this weekend. Hegerwald in 3rd, Monras 4th, Michael Bortolotti in 5th place, Jose Luis Abadin rounding out the top 10. And there you can see the rest of them, and we will see, hopefully hear from Jack Clark very soon, because there he is. And they are very pleased with that, no doubt. Gets a hug from his mum, and someone else wants to talk to him, and well, he's probably got a lot of fans here this weekend that are very delighted to see this victory. So Jack Clark taking the win. Tobias Hegerwald just looking a little bit downbeat. It's Ramon looking very happy with his 2nd position. Alongside him there is Tom Phillips, who's going to try and round them all up somehow. And Tom Phillips congratulates him. Ramon in the Movimento Impossible car. Really, that new sponsor seems to be working for him. He's managed to fund his racing this weekend, which is great news. Hegerwald looking really disappointed, isn't he? I mean, the 3rd place is still a good result, but he kind of just didn't have the pace.
Yeah, obviously didn't get the start, and I think he'll be annoyed that he's possibly thrown away a win. It looked to me like Pinheiro was talking to Jack Clark about his start, so whether he thinks that he jumped it, I'm not sure. But if we could see a replay, it would be fantastic.
I was watching out the window, and it didn't look like he particularly jumped to the start.
His reactions were just better than anyone else's, really.
Yeah, and he got some good traction off it as well. So we've got James Gornall then. It's just checking to Tom Phillips, and it looks as though we are pretty much nearly ready to hear from our race winner. His first race win in the FIA Formula 2 Championship for Jack Clark. Jack, congratulations, a fantastic win.
Yeah, I'm so over the moon with that. I got a great start, straight through the guys, the 2 guys at the front. I just maintained the pace all the way through, and yeah, I can't tell you how happy I was to see the checkered flag at the end of that.
It was quite a tight gap he got through at the coming into the first corner. Did you think there might be contact?
Yeah, I knew I had to be aggressive. I think there might have been a bit of contact. The harmless pushing and shoving at the front. But the gap was just about big enough, and the guys left half the door open, and I went through it, and I'm glad I did, because it's my home race, and it's great to be on top.
Well done, Jack.
Cheers, thanks.
Well, congratulations. congratulations to Jack, and it's worth pointing out, Jonathan, he was very close to having a shunt there. Here's a look at the replay. Look at that. That was that. And they had to dive to the outside in avoidance. Hegerwald really lost out through all of that because he had the inside line. It's almost as though he got out of the throttle as well as just adjusting it. Here's Jordan King going for a crazy little trip across at Graham Hill Bend, and unfortunately taking out a couple of his rivals, which brought out the safety car. And that was the order after the safety car, and really it stayed that way. Now let's see if there's any way of seeing how Alex Brundle broke his front left suspension. No, there isn't. Zanella and Bortolotti duked it out. Zanella going in too deep on the brakes into Paddock Hill Bend, and Bortolotti making his way through. Timo Storz then had a go at the inside, and he slotted through as well in an impressive move from the young German, but his race would end at the very same corner just a few laps later, locking the rears and sticking it in the gravel trap. And then you need to be gentle if you want to get out of the gravel here, not just floor the throttle. Bortolotti got very close on a couple of occasions to getting past Mickey Monras, but alas, it was not to be. Ramon Pinheiro was also pushing hard on his chase of Jack Clark. We saw Ramon getting very sideways towards clearways. Then we had this great battle. Well, it was great initially. Jose Luis Abadin getting pushed out by Mikkel Mack onto the grass, and he wasn't particularly pleased with that. As Jack Clark began to pull away at the front, Jose Luis Abadin and Mikkel Mack had another go at one another, which we may see in a few moments' time. But it was a really impressive drive. Oh, here goes Jose Luis Abadin, and getting quite a bit of air actually off those curbs. Mikkel Mack has put his spine out of joint a little bit, but the win goes to Jack Clark, and he was absolutely delighted with that, as you'd expect, quite frankly. A fairly lonely third place in the end for Tobias Hegerwald, but an excellent race for Jack Clark, and he takes the victory here in round 9 of the 2011 FIA Formula 2 Championship. So an excellent race and an excellent win for Jack Clark, and he climbs to the top step of the podium, and we hear the English national anthem for the second time this year after Will Bratt took the win in the first race at Spa.
It wasn't a relaxing time at all. I think the only time I let go really was on the fifth straight here, and it felt great. It felt great to see it as well. Working hard, so much so hard, so line, and everything was fine. I don't see why not. It's going to take a lot of hard work.
So Jack Clark, a very, very happy man on the top step of the podium, as we've said a few times. Ramon wearing that shirt. The trophy presented by Dame Kelly Holmes, the Olympic gold medal winner this weekend. She was fairly local to Brands Hatch, and as a result has come down. I hear it too, apparently she wants to get involved in racing as well, and is looking at taking an ARDS test, so that would be very interesting to see. Ramon very happy with a second place finish, and he is going to treasure that trophy as much as he treasures that fluorescent t-shirt. And Tobias Hegerwald taking the third place spot. So congratulations to our top three, an excellent race, particularly for Jack Clark, an excellent start as well. I can't quite get over how close they were to colliding at the start of that as he sliced through the two of them. Ramon Pinheiro hasn't been on the podium this season, and as a result has a little bit of trouble getting into his champagne, and he is old enough to drink, isn't he? I'm not 100% sure, but an excellent win for Ramon, and Ben Evans dives in there to have a quick chat with our race winner Jack Clark. We've already heard from him, of course, but an excellent race for him, and he really has to keep the momentum up heading into tomorrow's race, which will be the same, 28 laps. Qualifying gets underway at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and there will be coverage on the Formula 2 website, but then we will be live on Motors TV and the Formula 2 website for the race, which will come up